It's when you're not having well,
Been late, you might be a bit late. Had a meeting with enforcement on this one. No, I didn't. I couldn't get to that. It's not equally. Sorry, I can't change it. He's doing what Dave does. Yeah. You know, this in a bit of.
Yeah.
Right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Swaffham Town Council meeting. We'll do the fire drill first because there's a few people that I don't know if they've been here before, but there's a no plan fire drill, but if it does go off, it'll be the real thing. So please do not use the lift, use the stairs if it is. If you need any help, please let us know. Anybody need any help? Everybody got mobile, yeah? And the other thing is, please can you turn your mobile phones onto silent or switch them off, please? Thank you. That get done. Right, we need to ask Lizzie to say a prayer on behalf of the.
Dear God, thank you for the privilege of serving our town. I pray that we will have a productive meeting this evening, and please help us to discuss and deal with the issues on this agenda, always putting our residents' interests before our own. Remind us always that we are in this position not to be served, but to serve. Help us to uphold that which is moral, rational, and just. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Lindsay. Apologies for absent.
So we've got Jill Skinner and Sarah and Wendy, so they're the possible video.
Yeah, no others. So. Yeah. You'll see declarations of interest. Has anybody got any declarations of interest they want to declare? Very quiet. You see in the green minutes of the ordinary meeting on the 9th of October. Yeah. Move the acceptance. Please show those that accept the minutes. Thank you. I'll sign them at the end. Remind me. It's not on there, but we had the extraordinary meeting on the 28th of October, which was about the barn. There isn't any minutes, but they will be.
The minutes went out.
The minutes have gone out. Sorry. So, would you like to agree those minutes as well? The extraordinary meeting about the barn. Those that were here, all agree?
I'm assuming, Paul,
Thank
I'm
you.
assuming we can, even though it's not on. Is it got to be on there?
No, I thought.
We can do it. That's okay. Thank you.
Mr. John. Right. Good evening, and good evening, William and Norfolk County Council report, please.
Good timing, William.
We'll give you plenty of time to get a rest.
Thank you, Chairman. I circulated a report which I hope you've all received. I haven't had time to print it off and bring it with me, so I can't remember everything that's on it. I have to answer questions on any of it. I've just come straight from London, sorry. What I did want to talk to you about, though, was every year, you know, the county council gets an allowance of, I think it's £11,000. I spoke to you at previous meetings around whether there's anything I can do in Swaffham to utilise that money. And obviously, as the year is clicking away, I'm very keen to utilise that money. So I was hoping to come to you this evening and say, what can I help you with? I know I used the two parishes quite significantly last year. Yeah, Clark's excited. So it'd be nice to have some shovel-ready projects to enable us to commit that money. As you know, it has to be highways or environmental, I believe. So, you know, if we could do something that enhances the town, I know some people have used it for nesting bird boxes, or, you know, you name it. And there are, you know, there's scope, I think, to push it into different directions. So there's that. The other thing I wanted to raise this evening, I believe, would be the solar. I think I'm very concerned about the plethora of solar that's being put along the 1065, put along the main road. I think it's outrageous. I know why it's being done, because you've got the pylons projected to come, or at least the cabling coming along from the offshore wind. And it seems the solar companies are just kind of carpeting Norfolk with solar all the way along that. And I think we need to be seen to be fighting that. And actually, I know the county council is, I know the Essex and Suffolk are too. because it just doesn't feel right. I recognise actually as individuals, we don't have a great deal of power because it's signed off by the Secretary of State. But I think we need collectively to make as much noise as we can to ensure that we fight that wherever possible. And I think they're the two biggest issues that I'd raise this evening, other than what's on my report. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Well, on the solar, we have been getting in touch with some of the villages. We decided at our last meeting, we would try and get a group of all the villages together and to sort of fight it on a, well, I say fight it, I assume everybody's going to be against it, on a whole footing. So we're all working together as a group. So we've done that. Clark's.
Organising a meeting in early January. I've already spoke to some of the parishes and they want to join in and we'll all get together and go from there.
I think.
Yeah, so if you obviously would like you to be involved as well, obviously.
Because I know you'd like the county council leader to come, and we tried to arrange a date, and I think I suggested the 20th, that didn't work. Maybe we could coordinate it with the solar meeting. So you had the.
January, that
Yeah,
would be great. Yeah.
If you ping me that date, I'll see if Kay Mason is available that evening.
Yeah.
And even if they don't stay for the whole meeting, we could get her to just give the county's view on solar, which might give
Yeah.
some weight.
Thank you for that, Steph.
January.
William, you have joined us on several occasions on the gazebo,
Yes.
which we thoroughly enjoy. Please feel free to come like as soon as possible. No, because
We are back this Saturday.
are you? Because our main concern and people who approach us and we write notes, solar.
Yeah.
For the last 5-6 weeks, and
Yeah.
we've had people there, haven't we? And it's literally solar, what they're going to look like from the road, blah 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 blah. And we're trying to keep them updated. But if you could come along, and we can go.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I should state, I'm not against solar. I think solar is absolutely the right way to go. I think it should be incorporated on all new houses.
Yeah.
I think agricultural buildings should be encouraged to put it on. I think industrial estates should be encouraged to put it on. I just don't think you should cover really good. I mean, if there's some really flaky agricultural land that you can't now grow or produce stuff on because machinery is so big, then use those small patches for solar. But when you're taking thousands and thousands of acres at a time, I think it's really absolutely.
I think that's what we're all coming from. I think we'd all be happy with a smaller or whatever you want to call it. But we're not happy with the mass it's going to be.
It's
The view of the road,
It's a
isn't it?
high grade agricultural land as well, isn't it? So it's taking that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it won't stop there. We've already seen another 5,000 acres come up along Stratton, and you can almost guarantee as the cabling goes in, they'll just keep extending until they almost join up.
On that road to go to London. That's all
So has anybody else got, Les?
And on the same subject, have you got any views on what these companies are offering, like the community fund?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I mean, is there a standard?
No,
No.
no, there's no standard package. They will offer you the earth, literally.
They're offering 11 million over the 40 years.
Yes, yes. Now, when I did the first consultation meeting with them, I said, if you're prepared to offer that, then I want that gifted to the town. And they, oh, no, we control it. So yeah, exactly. So, you know, and you have to bid for it, draw it down. I said, if you genuinely are giving money to the community, then give it to the community, set up a corporate body through the community and let them administer it. No, that's not how it works. And I can almost guarantee that as a company, you know, we've seen it in Thurrock where the county council, they got involved in solar and then the company went bust and it gets bought off by somebody else and they're obliged to, yes, they go bust, so their obligations go on and the next company buys at a knockdown price and then, sorry, community, you've got the solar, but you haven't got the benefit. So that's what I don't mind. I don't trust them. I don't trust them when I do. You know, I think they will tell us everything we want to hear to get solar on the fields. And then it'll be a nightmare, you know, right to the clerk will be writing, saying we'd like to do this, and there'll be justification why that can't happen. And it'll just be a battle for, what is it, 40 years? 40 years, yeah.
They're saying 11 million that they put into the community fund, which is over 40 years is nothing really. Over the course of that, over the whole of the area, which covers how many villages got? I think about 10 villages altogether, isn't it, as well as the town?
And my other concern is the 40-year period will be the loss of 2 generations of farmer skills. Where are you going to get that from?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not.
I mean, that was the other thing in my report, wasn't it, around the agricultural tax that's now coming in. And the implication of that's on the small farms where it's what is going to be easily balanced.
Just grab. Helen, you're proposing to have this meeting in January. Is that a bit late?
Well, it was only because we're trying to struggle in with Christmas coming up.
No.
You know, so I think January, most of the parishes won't meet in December, and I want to get as many people there as we can. I think a fresh start, new year, people are coming back out. Yeah.
So January is not too late in your thinking.
No.
Well, they haven't actually started the official consultation.
So I,
It would help me if it was like the day after the day we were going to do, maybe the Tuesday. I'll wait for some of January doing other bits.
Thank you.
Sorry, could
Sorry, Les.
I just ask a supplementary question? On the same subject of the community fund, whatever, you'd normally see with a normal planning application, say a 106 agreement, things that are then taken into account as part of the planning permission. Given that this is done a different way with the Secretary of State, does any of this, any funds or any mitigation or anything, does that form part of the application and the permission, or is it simply a case of here's your permission and everything else is, if you like?
I don't think so, because it bypasses both the district and county planning systems and it's done by the Secretary of State. I don't think any of that comes into.
Although the community fund, I think this was very similar. First consultation, the community fund, they could, I know one of the wind projects, they have like a grant scheme running.
Yeah.
Whereas they could choose to give it to a local council, whether it was the district council or the
Right.
county council, for them to distribute.
Which is what William, what you're saying, you're asking, or you asked.
That's
for.
what I think would be the right.
Right.
To
Okay.
give the money straight across. Up front, ideally.
Is anybody else got any more questions? No, I've got one I'd just like to ask, William, your allowance of what you can spend, I know we've got the parish partnership coming up earlier, but a lot of, and I looked at Tesco's where, opposite where I live, the islands around there are absolutely covered in weeds and there's other areas in the town as well. I wonder if that could be perhaps something to clean up and tidy up them areas.
That sounds environmental, doesn't it?
Well, I would have thought that would fit in.
I've got on the parish partnership, I've got the vehicle access sign outside the school, so that little boy got hit.
Mhm.
So I'd like to put that for parish partnership forward. And the camping land fence,
And I think I can match the parish partnership, can't I?
you can, so the camping land fence is like this knee rail fence that goes, and that's quite dangerous to people. We need that, it's 188 metres. So that needs to, so I'll put that in parish partnerships as well. So if we could match fund those two.
All I'd say, I was talking to a county colleague, and often the county council seems to come back saying, oh, their contractors have to do the work, which seems to always cost 3 times as much as if you get a local contractor.
I've never had that.
Oh, okay, well, that's
It's
good.
because I've spoke to Highways engineer is happy with everything and is happy for me to just, so no, we should be, both of those are okay. Yeah,
I'm very happy you get someone else to do it.
yeah.
Not suggesting the county's always.
No, absolutely not.
Obviously, wait, yeah.
John,
Just one more question, William. Thank you for getting Councillor Mason Billett to visit us. I had hoped that though she would come during a weekday, during the daytime to see the state of the traffic coming through our town.
She
Because that
might well, I think I was asked for an evening, but
We were asked for an
yeah, I was asked for an evening. If you wanted to come in the daytime, I'm sure we can try and get a daytime, but it was to come and talk to the town council.
yeah,
And I didn't know that,
No.
you all convene in the day.
well, we don't, but I
That's the county council for swap, so she's very aware of what the area.
oh, right, okay. As long as she has some awareness of the traffic issues in this town.
Yeah.
okay, thanks for that, William.
Thank you. Betsy.
Thank you. Sorry to rush you into that. Go there to the Breckland councillors, we've got all three here tonight, so I don't know if anybody wants to say anything or refer to anything.
So just on the tree planting, Swaffham Primary Academy's been awarded a grant to plant some trees on school grounds.
That's all right then, okay. Any questions for our Breckland councillors?
Be too cold.
David?
It's sort of across sort of about what you said about the islands in and around town. Norwich Road from the top from the roundabout all the way down Norwich Road is pedestrian islands and traffic islands, and then into the town. There seems to be a disconnect between Norwich, Norfolk probably uses a road sweeper to sweep the roads, and then Breckland do the streets in the town, but no one seems to take responsibility or do any work with regards to the crud and the debris that builds up between and around the islands, because the road sweepers only sweep the curb, and then the street cleaners, which I presume is Serco, they just sweep the road, the pavements. So those islands don't get done by either or. So they've been neglected for years. We've even got a tree growing up by Norwich.
Yeah,
McDonald's. Yeah, by McDonald's out of one of the Triangle Islands up there.
Yeah,
So much crud and debris.
We'll have a check and do that for them.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else for John?
Yeah, just to raise, the other day, the Serco guys came down with their flatbed truck and towing the trailer with a ride-on mower. They do two tiny little areas outside my house. I was looking at the My Maps section of Breckland's website, and I brought it up. And there's loads of these tiny little patches of grass. Now they're riding a ride-on mower to get to these and bringing a flatbed truck in. And now you're talking about you haven't got money to do the car parks. But this is senseless stuff. I mean, they're there every 4 weeks, they come. And I just do not understand. And if it's Swaffham, I just looked at Swaffham, all the tiny little areas, and that's multiplied throughout the whole of Breckland. I just wonder if you've got to take that back and get the council to reevaluate what they're doing by way of grass cutting, because it's just overdoing it, and there's too much small areas to get at.
Does anybody want to answer? Only David.
Only, Mr. Chairman, is the fact that for my sins, I sat on the working party that looked at the Serco contract. So that must be in the contract somewhere, that they do that. And the ability to change the contract, I don't know, but I will certainly talk to Rihanna at Breckland and ask that question. Because it's in the contract, so it gets done. Not that that makes it right, but it's in the contract, so that's why it gets done. But I will talk to Rihanna, who's responsible officer at Breckland, for looking at setting up the Serco contract. So I will bring that to her attention, okay?
Yeah, just that, Graham.
John, just one thing. Generally, you have to be careful because we cut some of the grass for Norfolk County Council. Are you talking about specific?
No, I'm talking, if you go on to their website, there's a thing called My Maps, right?
For Breckland.
Sorry?
For Breckland.
Yeah.
From Breckland,
That's
yeah.
okay, that's fine.
And you could call that up and it shows all the areas that are Breckland owned.
That's fine.
I think you did it, so hopefully they will look into it, John.
Yeah.
Just don't want to get confusion, that's all.
No. Other day.
We talked about getting the street pavements jet washed the other week. Is that in the schedule?
There's Serco list, yeah.
Anything else for Breckland? No. Thank you. Police, have we got anything from the police at all? No. There's a what's the name meeting, isn't there? Snap meetings. Oh, you've had it, have you?
Did you?
I missed it then. You did. Sorry about that. Does anybody want to wait to that and want to report on that?
I think that they're going to be running them slightly differently now, so that's really they're still going to be having the quarterly snap meetings for members of the public to attend, but they're going to going to manage the priorities differently.
We did go on to the open session for the public. It's 15 minutes, so if any members of the public would like to say anything, or can you please say your name, but so it's for the record, the minutes.
Good evening. My name is Rod Goddard. I'm here representing the Royal British Legion here in Swaffham. And I was just wondering what the council plans to do to celebrate VE Day. I mean, where wars and whatnot are concerned, there's not very often things to celebrate, but at the end of that period, it's an opportunity for quite a celebration, I
I've
suggest.
got a meeting with Jonathan next week, and we've got some grant funding come through today, literally from Breckland and Community Action. And I emailed Jonathan Hull to see what we can do. We did work with him we worked with him this year, and we said if we can do something very similar for next year.
No, but I believe the British Legion have got some things already planned, haven't they?
Well, the day before,
Yeah.
we've got Sarah Jane coming back to the town. Well, hopefully, I mean, it's in the early stages of planning at this time. For the actual event, and I believe there's a beacon lighting, isn't there, on the?
We'll do the beacon lighting, yeah, and we were looking at doing a fish and chip supper again. But as I say, I've got to speak to Jonathan, because there might be a double fund that we can all apply for and work together like we did last year.
And flags around the town, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Judy, do you want to say anything?
Well, no, Rod and I had a discussion also with Claire yesterday. It sort of got a bit muddied really on sort of who's done what.
Yeah.
And obviously the British Legion have booked Sarah Jane, which is brilliant. That they've got her for the day before. I did sort of run this by Jill Worthington in respect of after you spoke to me on Monday about Culture Consortium running that event as a wartime tea dance. So that is that could be a possibility. That's not a problem if you want us to do it. So that'd be the day before, not on the actual day. So that would be the Wednesday.
Somehow we need to pull all the sites together. And I think even Sue from the museum's got some plans for the museum as well on that time.
Well, only inside the museum.
Yeah. But it's all connected, isn't it?
Well, yeah, then,
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't it possible to get all the parties that are interested, like the Lions and so on,
in the best room?
That's what I was going to suggest, that we actually have
some joint
an informal meeting amongst all interested parties, Royal British Legion, Sue, ourselves and everybody else. Because when I spoke to a couple of people at the Royal British Legion, if I recall correctly, they were saying that they do have a slight problem with members now and the ability of people to sort of take ownership of certain tasks. So can we have it that we do have a meeting?
So I've got a meeting with Jonathan next
No, I mean,
week to start, and then we'll go from
Other
there.
people,
Yeah.
like Sue and everybody.
Yeah, bring it in there.
Because
Everybody
otherwise,
wants to help.
well, otherwise, there's so many people I know want to help. And then what I'm concerned about is that this group will do this thing and that group will do something else. Whereas I think there needs to be a central control to manage and
Do it
everyone on
together.
the side.
Yeah. Would you be happy with that? And sorry.
Well, yes, I mean, it's important, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, we want to, as you just said, we need a proper plan.
Yeah.
I mean, we know where we want to get to. What we
Yeah.
need to do is know now, have we got the resources to achieve that?
Mhm.
And what do we need in between to get there?
Yeah.
And what planning needs to be put in place to achieve that?
I mean, to be honest, that seems a long time now.
It's not that long.
Till May, but it isn't.
It
That'll
is
go so quickly.
It'll go so
it's
quickly.
only a little over 5 months.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, already, if you want somebody special like Sarah Jane on the Thursday, forget it, because most of those, you know, acts would have been booked up a
A
year
long
ago.
time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David.
What's the actual date you were referring to?
The 8th of May,
of June.
7th of June is a Wednesday, and we hope to have this function in the assembly rooms.
Next year, 7th of June, a Wednesday,
7th of May,
7th of May,
yeah.
yeah.
That's the day before, the actual VE day, so the Thursday.
The 8th of May.
Yeah, that's it.
Ah, you just said 8th of June.
Did I? No, I think
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
7th of May and the 8th of May. Yes.
I'll take all these stuff. Speak to Jonathan next week and we'll go from there and
Get a meeting and
Yeah.
everybody all involved.
I'm sure we can get something really good for the town together between all of us,
I
hopefully.
hope so, Paul, because
We want more flags and remembrance.
It's a celebration. So
yeah, but
Hopefully that, you know,
Can I just say that?
Shops to get involved as they did.
Can I just say remembrance was in a celebration and if you looked at the cenotaph, there was only one flag up, which is the Union Jack on the town hall. So,
However, this is a celebration.
so that's the celebration. This is different, yeah.
Yes.
So, but yeah.
okay, I've got Dave, then Nick, Rami.
All, things all the inventory of what flags we've got, what type of flags we've got, so we know.
Budget meeting, but, yeah. we'll bring that at the budget.
Sure, we'll talk about it together. Right.
Can I just ask Devon from the British Legion?
Yes.
He's still there.
Yeah, well, let's do some.
He's still sat down.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I'm sure he's listening.
One of the failings over the weekend on Armistice Sunday in particular is very good turnout, but the PA system is inadequate to cover that big area. And if there's something that needs to be done before next year, I don't know who provided. We
did.
We do, and we
We
said
do.
we
Well,
put on the fund.
we are looking at as a council, we're looking at
It
improvements.
was really weird because when Phoebe was there setting up, it was loud.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
And then when they came to do it, I don't know whether they didn't have it close enough
that's when you get the.
to you thinking.
The night
We
people,
need
didn't say
I think that's something that needs to be on our wish list.
Yeah. Well, I used to do that many years ago, but we had
DJ
at least 4 large speaker units to cover that area, and that's before we had the sort of volume of people that we have now. So we do need to look at that.
On the agenda.
William.
It's a public question. I just wondered if you're done on the VE day stuff. It was just on the grass. I was slightly confused as a member of the public around what you're asking, because I've never been in a council meeting before where people have asked Breckland to cut the grass less. I just wanted clarity around.
Sorry.
My colleagues here are going to go back to the council and ask questions, but I just hope they weren't going to go back and say we swap them asking for the grass.
No, because we were
left.
getting inundated with complaints.
Yeah, exactly. So I just wondered what the ask was, because
I don't think it's
Yeah, I do think they are excessive with the number of cuts.
so that
It
is.
just doesn't make any
Asking that it's cut.
Not the town council.
not a count.
No.
One member is. I just I think that's a mutual.
Right, good.
Need to be.
Leave it as it is.
Yeah.
I would actually vote on that. I don't think I'll be mutual agreement. I think we all would like to, if possible, more if sometimes. Yeah. Is there any, I know we've gone a little bit over the time, but is there any other members of the public would like to raise anything at all? Sorry, we went on. Sorry, Sue.
Yeah, I'm Sue.
Yeah, sorry.
I just wanted to say that I was disappointed in the consultation on Monday. Not so much the fact that you could talk to people, but the display in the outside of the room was really poor, because all it consisted of was a display of the 4 car parks, all the car parks in Brackland. And most people know where their own car parks are. I didn't really see the point of it. But also, when I look on their website, there's quite a lot of questions and answers on that website that could have been so good in the room itself, either on boards or on screen or whatever. It would have given a focus to the meeting and allowed people to have a look at it and think about it before they actually spoke to people. And I think Breckland missed a trick there because of that, because it was just, I just went in, I spoke to somebody who made, very nice, sympathetic statements, which really annoyed me a bit, but never mind. But couldn't answer any of my questions at all. And it wasn't until today that I actually saw the question and answer thing on the website. But I think somewhere there in the communication again and how it was presented was quite disappointing.
Yeah,
So I'd agree with you.
Pass the feedback on, because obviously I've got a few more engagement speaks. So it'd be good, because pass that feedback on to others.
Personally, Jacob, I when I went in there, I think they was only interested in getting people to fill in the survey sheets, and that was it, really. They weren't really interested in answering questions.
Got any answers?
I mean, personally, all I can say is I did see people having quite long conversations in there. I think Julie probably saw the same. And obviously filling out the questionnaire, that is the way to get the data that can be measured to feed the
Anybody else from the public? No? No? Okay, we go back into session then.
Banging his thing. Banging, Paul.
Bang it. I'm not going to thank you for you. Thank you.
Legalities, Paul. That's all it is.
Receive reports from the mayor. That'd be me.
That's you.
Does he?
Some of the things I attended this last month is on the 13th of October, the Justice of Service in Norwich Cathedral with Lindsay. That's very good, nice. Obviously on the 7th of Royal British Legion, Festival of Remembrance in the church. That was good.
That was absolutely brilliant.
It was very good.
And the piano.
Yeah, and the children were
Oh, brilliant.
good, very good. Then on the 8th, I went to see Swaffham players play. I forget for the life of me what they called it there, but it was a sort of a mix of different play, short acts, if you like. So it's very good and good laughs. On the Sunday was Remembrance, as I think quite a few of us were there. And that was very good, and the service of the church was very good. Then on Monday we went on the 11th, as it should be, as the actual Armistice Day. We went and saw all the children at the War Memorial, and they read out the prayers and that sort of thing, and that was very good. And it was nice to see all the youngsters there. So very good. That was it as far as that's concerned. Thanks for all the invitations I get.
Yeah.
John's got a quick update from.
Yeah, I did ask Paul for permission to.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Just give a short report. As you might be aware, I attend the meetings of Swaffham Heritage trustees who run the museum, and they were rather keen to get a few points across. So it was they always impress me with their business-like approach. I've got to say, main discussion, they're pulling together a 5-year plan for the museum and for the visitor information centre. Now, one of the things that they understand, there is some talk in the town council about the relationship, the service level agreement with for the information centre with the heritage, but they're keen to point out that they are bringing that all up to date. I mean, you notice that the shop now is looking so much better. It really is a picture if you go by there. They've refurbished it. They concentrate on Swaffham and Norfolk originated gifts. They've got a new point of service system put in place. So that's some of the things they do. They also are branching into ticket sales. So that's something that we could possibly. I know there's been some difficulty selling tickets for some events, and then there's the possibility of putting some notice boards around the electric kiosk near the Buttercross, where there used to be boards, didn't there? But they've been taken down. But putting up boards for events, so the heritage would take control of that and put up like they do at the front door at the moment. So that's some of the things they're looking at, rebranding everything. They're obviously looking at further things like the doors to the front of the building, because they're rather keen on something that they want to talk to the town council about when we meet them for one of the liaison meetings. But the thing is, you've got to remember that Swaffham Heritage runs the museum for the benefit of the whole of Swaffham. It looks after the town council's artifacts and archives. And it's all done on behalf of the council by Swaffham Heritage. Absolutely, that no one there, they're all volunteers, no one there gets paid. So it's all volunteers who do it. So if there is some disquiet about volunteers don't, like the stewards don't know certain things at certain times, well, you know, you've got to bear with the fact that they are volunteers. One of the things obviously rising now from the council, Bretland Council's a desire to put charges on, is that will affect the volunteers who come and park probably in the Theatre Street car park. So that's just a short outline of Swaffham Heritage and what they do for the town. And I hope you will appreciate what they do.
Thank you, John. Does everybody any questions for Jonathan? I think it's fairly straightforward. Okay, I'm sure when we have the liaison meeting with the museum, I'm sure some of these things will come up. Yes. Thank you for that, John. You go over to the Helen.
So actually it was on my report because I met Sue this week and we talked about the frames on the electric point, and also Tim came to me today and talked about the glass doors at the front and whether if we bought them and then the museum paid us back for that. So we're going to get Anglian Doors out who originally did the quote and go from there, and I'll put it on the council agenda. So it wouldn't be any cost to us. Initially we would order as it's our building and then the museum would pay it back. So that's for an item to go on the December meeting with more information. Just to say, £124 was raised for the Macmillan Coffee Morning by the staff who provided bakes, cakes and refreshments. So no cost to the council. Barn update, the Fountain of Life moved into the barn on the 28th of October. All utilities were disconnected from the town council the next day and the council tax for the plat has ceased. No problems have been reported to date from there. Halloween party, we had very positive feedback received and thanks for every councillor who came. That's good. Council surgeries, Phoebe has secured some dates for council surgeries and we'll be emailing lists later this week. Youth provision, Phoebe, Graham and I met with Recklands Community Enabler, Norfolk County Council Early Help community workers and the Fountain of Life Youth Coordinator today and some youths from the town. The plan we showed them was to modify the toilet block in the shambles for a youth safe warm place. All we met there were very positive and they would like to support with some funding. Quotes will now be sought for a further meeting for councillors to consider. So we can see if we can move forward with that, but everything's really positive, wasn't it, Graham?
Yeah, they all supported it.
Yeah, Leanne attended the Wattham Youth Festival on Saturday and gained some contacts for next year's youth festival that we'd like to hold ourselves. Christmas event preparations all under control. Friday of the lights switch on, there will only be 2 staff members in the morning to do the normal litter picks, play safety checks, etc. The rest of us will start at 3 p.m. and work on into the evening. So the office will not be open on that Friday morning. Tickets for the Panto are being sold by the staff at various locations. We've been to Tesco's and assembly rooms and that's going quite well.
Thank you. It's all very positive. I think.
Yeah.
Any questions for the clerk? Thank you for that, Helen. So, is there any urgent? I haven't got anything urgent. I don't think. Have you got anything urgent? No. Discuss and consider correspondence received.
I think you've had it all. There's nothing to go on. Everything that we needed today is on the agenda.
Okay.
We did have a thank you letter from the RBL that came in late.
Yes, that was very nice. Yeah. So,
Just quickly on the correspondence, there was one from one of the new estates, Brandon Road, I think, who had ducks.
That's on the
that's on the agenda later on.
Sorry, we've gone from barn.
Swans at Ducksmiths.
John.
Hey.
Did you put your hand up? I thought.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
It's on the agenda.
Brecon Council car parking consultation. You want to leave?
So we've received the comments from Survey Monkey that we've sent out, and Phoebe has made a quick little visual of what we got, because it was a free survey. We didn't have too much information on there. And it's just to consider response to Breckland.
Start with Stuart.
On the day that, on the 11th, when he was doing whatever at the War Memorial, I was nice long round trip, about 300 miles. And on the way back, I called in the assembly rooms and I was met with the form to fill in. I want to talk to him. So I spoke to this really nice gentleman in Breckland. And there was a couple of silly little issues regarding wording on things, but that was not really relevant. The thing that seemed to come out of it was that maybe this town council should actually look at, like Watton is doing, taking the car parks under our own banner to approach Breckland to see what their feelings are on it. But we rather than we go straight in Breckland, yes, they say we're going to charge. They've already told us they're going to charge. We know that. Well, if we can control our own car park and possibly make our own scale of charges or not, depending on which car parks we're talking about, then surely that would be a better idea for us as the town. We use the main marketers very regularly for events. And every time we have to go and apply to Breckland, but if it's in our area, we can have it ourselves.
Obviously, this is something that's new that's come up, so you know, a lot of
I propose that we investigate it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, Paul, but the only thing I would add as a note of caution, I'll just use the word the barn. There's a word of caution.
Just you.
It's very simple, because I mean, just look what that went like.
Yeah, we're on about car park.
Yeah.
Hang on, don't talk across, please.
Because just imagine how we own all the car parks in the town. My mind goes cold to think of it.
Yeah.
I do agree with the concept of it, but we really need to go through it this time.
We'll hear what everybody else got to say, then we'll
I'm just going to lead on to that. Could we afford the maintenance of the car park?
We don't know what it is going to be.
Big question mark.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, well, I'll echo what Graham's just said. I think if Breckland can't keep them up and needs the money, it's going to go on our precept. Don't forget that. You know, that'll be one off their precept and one onto ours, and that we can't really do.
The only thing I would, sorry, can I go? Yeah, the only thing I would say is, John, that the proposition Stuart made is just to consider it, look into it. And these type of things, the cost, the management of it, the ownership of it, rather than just taking it over. I mean, for example, if we took on the 8th Street car park and sold it off for housing, would we be allowed to do that?
No.
No, I know. But I'm just saying is that we've got to go into this in some detail. But the proposition is not unreasonable. I'm just advising supreme amounts of caution.
To answer you.
Oh, sorry.
I never mentioned selling any car. We actually need car parks in this town. We also spend an absolute fortune promoting our town centre.
Yeah, I know.
We have the HAS project, whatever the latest one's called. We donate every 3 months a big lump of money towards that.
Yeah.
Right. So why would we then waste the money developing a nice town centre and say, well, we don't really want you to come here, let's charge you? Why would we possibly do
I'm
that?
completely on your side.
Sorry, you're talking across again.
All I'm doing is asking that we have the time to look into it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, I think it's a very big subject, and we don't know whether even Brecon would consider it. So that would be a question as well, wouldn't it?
Watton's already doing it.
So I got an email from the Watton Club today, to see how they're approaching it, and I can have a conversation with her. But obviously, the things she said you've got to think about is the maintenance of it and who's going to manage it for you. But also, you know, we'd have to change all the law, the legal side of it, so it would be you who are enforcing it and not Brecon things.
You have to have parking warden and all.
But I'm happy to go along to Watton.
Got
and
John
see.
and Les.
You've got to remember that Watton hadn't got very big car parks. We've got quite big car parks by comparison.
And I think Watton weren't included in that part. She said that they weren't initially included in that car parking charge. Initially, that's what Jane said to me. I'd have to look at that.
Okay, to come in.
Are you happy for?
Yeah.
Come in then. What's going with?
Just something that might be worth bearing in mind is another cost would be the business rates payable on car parks. And I don't have the figures, but it's quite a significant part of the cost.
Okay.
Yeah. Les.
I was going to ask the question as well that's relevant, and that's that Brecon don't own all the car parking in town. So and that made me think, well, it's not just we would have to consider the county council parking as well, but is that something as well that Brecon have considered? Because if you charge on Brecon car parks, what is the effect with that, with the Norfolk County Council, the highways parking, which is there's quite a bit in Swaffham. Is there any comments on
that? That would then be a decision for the county council.
Yeah.
How they wish to.
But and are they considering it the same as Brecon are at the moment?
Not that I'm aware of
No.
at the stage. I mean, they've already got, I think county's already got parking restrictions of 2 hours, hasn't it, on theirs? So I think theirs has already enforced that 2 hours, but it's 2 hours free. But after that, you're given a ticket anyway. At least it could be.
David.
Given that somewhere along the line, there's some plans to pedestrianise half of the town centre and do all kinds of rearranging of things. Is there any point buying a car park that we then would say a pedestrianised seating area, whatever, park, or whatever it might be?
I think this is a very involved and it needs a lot more than the time we can give it at this meeting. But if you want to agree to have a discussion about this at some stage, I think that would be the best.
Yeah, I can approach Watton's clerk officially and see where they are and what's going on from there.
An informal one again.
Yeah, okay.
At least we know where we're going, what we're doing. We knew facts then, won't we?
Can I suggest you also approach Dereham?
Yeah, I have.
And although William did say that Norfolk County have not really thinking about charging, I spoke to a different Norfolk County councillor who seemed that charging is quite imminent if Brecon's going to do it. Why are we not going to do it?
Oh,
You know, sorry, but
ideas.
Norfolk County would be.
Well, they could, but there's no discussion.
Yeah.
There's not even a political discussion about it at the moment.
We should say. Anyway, so is the feeling that we ought to have an informal discussion about this at some stage?
Yes.
Are you happy with that, Helen?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody happy? Yeah.
Actually, it's nice that we've got these going.
You want to say something different, or you just?
She happy? Was she?
Sorry, Owen.
Reading.
Right. 8324. To consider appointment of councillor as trustee for the Swaffham Men's Shed.
Yeah, I was approached by Swaffham Men's Shed and they are quite short on trustees at the moment. I asked whether any of our councillors would be willing to volunteer to be a trustee.
We've got one volunteer.
It's Graham does.
Yeah. Is anybody else interested? No. So Graham? Yeah.
I'd be very pleased to do that. I was involved with them from the start. I was push them along and
Yeah.
then do very well.
Is everybody happy that? Yes. Graham takes it on? Yeah, just so,
Propose or anything there?
well, if you want to go through the form, you propose then.
Could I?
Yeah.
So Graham,
Don't second. All those in favour,
It's too cold. if you want
just to
to-
look properly.
Could you, she comment just saying, yes. He can, I saw him.
Nothing in the tools.
I'll find out.
I'm probably in the same position, Joe, be very happy if the hands are moving. What we.
Yeah, I think we're
Right, this is another big one. To discuss and proceed to adopt a 5-year strategy plan and consider quotes to help move the plan forward. So something like we got the Bracknell plan is already in ongoing, isn't it, for the town centre and that, and I think this would add to that. So
This is just in, we've always wanted to do a strategic plan. That's one thing that Swaffham hasn't got. And with possibly some money coming in, it just focuses you as councillors and staff, and we go out to the public to see what our 5-year plan is. It's like a business plan. And we get somebody independent to show you how to do it, basically. It's just a thought.
Brian,
I sent Helen today, Helen knows, that we had a business plan done for the
Yeah.
town centre. And that cost several, 35,000 or something. I don't think anyone's ever looked at it.
No,
See,
no, this would be looked at.
I
We
know,
would
I know.
follow
I'm just
it.
saying, if we go with this, there's got to be a plan
Yes.
for considering
Yes.
the plan. There's no point just doing it and stuffing it in a drawer, which is what we've done before.
no, it'll be a working plan. It's got to be a working plan.
We've got to follow it like the neighbourhood plan.
So it'd be like with your wish list of what we want to do in our 5-year plan for your finances and how we do certain projects.
But just, sorry,
Sorry.
can I just come
Yeah,
back on that, please? Just one thing. What you sent us was quite a long document
Yes,
with a
it
lot of complexities in it. Have we got to decide tonight, or could we
No,
have a?
no, I
formal-
just wanted to go
That's all right.
for you to
Okay.
see it and
I'll take
have a thought really and see if we can go forward a bit more with it.
John.
Yeah, I did read through it all. I found it rather nebulous. There's nothing you can latch on to. What does it mean? I mean, I think we're coming up to a point where we need to review the neighbourhood plan, and I'd rather spend money on doing that and concentrating on that sort of thing, rather than this, which I can't make head nor tail what they're about here, except there's so many days at 300 and 400 pound a day.
Basically, you have an independent, it's normally someone who'll come in, speak to your councillors, speak to the staff, see how the council wants to run, what they want to do, what your wish list is, how you're gonna run it, how we're gonna certain projects, how we achieve these projects. Like one of them could be the traffic, and these are the things that we do, and they help you move forward with that. At least we've got a plan, and these are our things that we want to do. I have an action plan. Most small villages have an action plan. We don't even have an action plan in Swaffham. We should have something like that.
Yeah,
That's good.
idea. David.
We've said before, it seems like we're now trying to make a 5-year plan. Bracknell have got plans for what they want to do in Swaffham. Norfolk County Council have got plans for what they want to change Swaffham into, but what they want it to be. Can't we all get together and discover what we want to do all together?
Well, not really, because they
They're
haven't
doing
got
what
the
they
power.
want to Swaffham. We got doing where Bracknell are doing what they want to do.
But that's,
It's not joined up.
you've all got different powers. This is your town as a councillor, and this is what you would want to do as councillors with your precept money.
Well, if we're spending money doing something to some part of the town and then Bracknell or Norfolk County Council decides to turn it into a pedestrian zone, you just lost that because you spent money on it.
Sure, we wouldn't. I certainly think we'd have to sort of talk to each other as we go along.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Less.
You don't have an example.
I can get an example.
I'd like to see
Yeah.
a similar sized town with the cost of
Yeah.
it and
Yeah.
what they've actually
Yeah,
produced.
send that round to them.
Knutsford is a good one.
Lovely place.
Some
examples in there.
Yeah, we have got some examples, so it's just something to talk about. I
Mm.
wanted to bring it out, and then we can start moving forward a bit more information
do
with
that.
it.
Yeah, I agree with Graham, strangely enough, about
Yeah,
the
but-
fact that we've already spent
Yeah, exactly.
40,000 on a plan. We then had a neighbourhood plan. And what happened to the neighbourhood plan? Well,
It's still-
next to my caravan site, that's green. We got a Norfolk County Council school built on it with the plans for housing estate beyond that. You all make plans while we chucking lots and lots of money at things that surely us town councils should know what we need in our town.
Yeah, could I just say, I mean, we've got our wish list. I think all we need to do is vote on a priority about this so that we know what we think we need to be the money first. I mean, I went through this. The council officer questionnaire is prepared first, which is proposed to take 1.5 days to do at a cost of £600. Then we have a visioning day, which is preferably a Saturday. I don't know how many people have turned up to that. That's another 600. Then a report on the conclusions of the visioning day, another £1,200. And then consulting with the public, so a whole consultation project after that. And then actually compiling all the results of everything, another 1,600. So the total is 4,350.
No, that's not what he said. He said
That's
what we would,
excluding-
for a town council, he said you're looking at about 1,400.
But I had
And then if you wanted to add in the public, you don't need to do that, you could do more.
but that was
it's
that
also-
was the process that
But
they
also
actually
you
went
build
through.
on it, so when you all leave, there's still a plan in place of what the council have been doing previously and moving forward.
Well, I think that's sort of evidence that we really can't make any form of decision tonight. Therefore,
Just to sort of.
we would need to discuss it more.
Yeah.
Lindsay's right about our wish list. If we don't, we've made the wish list. If we can't put it in some form of order, then how's anyone else who are going to pay thousands to do so?
We know the town, don't we?
Yes, excuse me. The only thing is that I think Helen's talking about something, and I understand what you're saying, something a bit more sophisticated where we do actually have a plan that we follow, not just keep setting priorities.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine.
What?
Sorry, that's, yeah, I agree.
What she does, what you do?
I don't know.
You're answering across
I'm
again.
talking across.
That's all right. I'm fairness. Yeah, but I mean, you do, but you should have a plan.
Yeah.
I mean, we
But
do.
I think this is more than just a wish list. I think this comes into a lot of other things in the town. How we want the town to develop over the next 5, 10 years or whatever. You know, really, I think the town is growing and growing and growing. Every year we've got some more houses coming. It's an expansion of the town. Breckenham have put some ideas. None of them are set in stone. I don't think all that may happen. It may not happen. Some of that we might want to take on board. Something we may not. It's just let's get a sort of an idea where we're going instead of going ad hoc all the time from one year to the next and to the next year without any real sort of vision, if you like.
No, excuse me, Paul, you're spot on. But Dave's point now comes full circle. Because as he said, you've got Breckenham with an interest, Norfolk County Council with an interest, us with an interest. We cannot sit here and academically decide what we're going to do and then be trampled on by Breckenham and I use that word advisedly, trampled on by Breckenham and them when they say they're going to do something completely different. Yeah, we have to work with them.
Sorry, I'm answering across there.
You do that.
Sorry, I was going to say, I think a lot of it is that obviously you've got to talk to all these people. You've got to get all these people on board and come to what you want and have a mutual agreement of what you want, rather than Breckenham going off in one direction, Press County going off in another direction, highways for the traffic through the town going in another. You want an umbrella that's going to be met and pull all them sort of things together.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Sorry, that's my thinking on it. John.
So can we follow Leslie's idea of getting some examples?
Yes, I'll send
Yeah,
some.
yeah. We've aired it anyway, and I think, I think what we have a think about it and go from there.
Could I also ask for a costing for this council so that we know what we can all take into an
Good.
Okay, happy with that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a look and go from there. It's only early days, so very early sort of strange thing. Just to put Yeah, we've done that bit. To discuss and consider complaint regarding ducks at Swan's Nest. Who wants to lead on that?
Well, we always have, sorry, have I just put in my bit and just
Yeah.
tell you what we get daily complaints about the ducks. Judy gets involved with them. We've been speaking to Nick Dipper at Breckland District Council, who's the environmental officer. He's got some signs that we can buy at a cost. The environmental health is basically just telling people, putting some signs up saying, do not feed the ducks. We have no control. They're wild animals. We can tell people not to feed them, which is what we do. But that's what people do.
Just say before you come in, John, that we've been through this several times in the past, and it's always come, and nobody has got any responsibility. No county, district, or town, they've got no responsibility over their nature, and that nobody's got any responsibility for them at all. They do what they want to do virtually, and if you sort of tighten them down or anything like that, you have to have a human outcry from across the town from certain people. So really, it's a very hard question. John first.
Yeah, I did ask for that to be put on the agenda because I had a letter from a gentleman who lives in Swan's Nest. I said, outside thing, he lives in the nest. And I think Jacob's had some letters with him. But I've got to confess, I've had take my grandchildren round to the duck pond with a bag.
They should be.
So I mean, it's a popular thing to do. But if you let the kids chase the ducks, they fly away. So get your cats and dogs out chasing them away.
Good idea. And I've got Graham Eames next, and then Smith.
Right, well, in the end, the responsibility lays with people who will encourage things in their garden. We got a new resident in Whitsands Road, and I came by her bungalow the other day, and there was about 25, 30 ducks in the garden. Well, they only gone there because they encourage them. And that is down to every individual to realise this.
Well, this has been an ongoing thing on where I live. Obviously, it's been since COVID. People weren't allowed to do anything, so ducks were going around, so they just fed them what they do. You know, they want nature in their garden. So this has been an ongoing thing down at Orchard Place, where it's come to fisticuffs with neighbours down my street, where I had a meeting, not last week, the week before, with Breckland Council came out and Environmental Health to my neighbour, because she holds her hands up. She used to feed the ducks, used to go to the pet shop, buy all the stuff. She used to clear up, wash her pavements and everything. And it came to a point where everybody was anti her down the street. It made her life miserable. They kept reporting her. They've come out, they've checked her garden, everything over, like henceforth rats and all that. And obviously checked mine because mine's adjoining her and I've not seen the rats. And they have categorically said, there's nothing you can do, stop feeding them. But because they're the babies of the baby's baby, they go where they were and they will keep going. But if you do stop feeding them, and she has not fed them now for 2 months, they still come back there. Even though there's no food there, you can't stop them. But it does cause a lot of controversy in the town. Ducks. It does.
One of the homes,
So messy.
one of the housing associations put a letter out to their residents saying that the ducks were the response. They were owned by Swaffham Town Council.
Yeah.
We then had to say, we get rude people. They're very rude, aren't they? Some of the people who
I've had messages come. What you're a council? What can you do about the ducks? And I went,
Nothing.
they're wild birds. You can't do anything about them. Let them live their lives.
FC pens, whisper orange sauce to them and they'll run like anything.
Stuart, and then we'll make.
With John, I agree. I'd take nieces, nephews down to the duck pond because it's a duck pond. Yes, isn't actually, it's an Anglia water, something other posh name.
No pool.
Thank you very much. That's what it is, not a duck pond. But when I was mayor, this came up a couple of times and I approached regarding culling them. Yeah, I know. Oh, I can feel the knives in my back now. But it is legal to cull ducks. They are a game bird, all said and done. But certain times of year it can be done to control the numbers, because at the minute they're spreading further and further. They started in the duck pond, they then went to the town centre, they're now on all our estates. I'm sorry, something has to be done because they are disease-ridden animals. They mess everywhere. I think it's every 40 or 50 times in the space of an hour. They mess.
Technical.
I'm sorry, but this is going to be a health problem. It does need addressing, but maybe not in open session, but it really does need looking at seriously.
The thing is, but we have got no control over them, and we've got, I think, you know, nobody's got responsibility for them. So that it's a case of really who does what, and you know, if you start saying you're going to cull them, I think you would have an outcry around the town.
Public land, that would only be done, but if you look at the law, they're wildfowl, and there is a law that protects them. I don't think you could. I think I don't know.
The law. Sorry, Steph. The law is they're game birds. Pond ducks are game birds, and at certain times of the year, game birds can be killed.
From on owner's land.
Yeah.
Hang on, no, can I just take Steph? Can I just take Jacob and then sorry?
Yeah, just on the Swan's Nest specific case, because I was copied into the same emails as John was. So contacted the Environmental Health Breckland. So obviously they haven't got much power unless and until there's some kind of rodent problem. What they have said, if there's concerns around a lot of duck poo and the hazard that might present, they're going to look into whether they could get Serco to clean the area more regularly.
Thank you, Jane. Yeah.
I was going to shadow what Jacob said actually, because that's exactly what I was going to say. When the environmental health and they all came out, you can't cull them, it's private land. You can't do it. You cannot. Because we had a gentleman at the top of the estate and he kept killing them. They're the police out there. You can't do it. You're not allowed. It's against the law. And they are a wild bird. And unfortunately, Stuart, they do come here, there, and everywhere they want to go. You can't stop them. You can't.
Just to correct, right.
And I feel awful if people
It
start
again,
killing them everywhere.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not
devastated.
anti-duck, but it is not against the law to kill game.
No.
And secondly, Jacob, when we had the problem in the town centre, and Serco, where it was, turned up with that new super cleaning machine, it come once, and I don't think we see it again for 6 months, a year. That trying to palm the problem off when cleaning the mess, when you should be actually trying to control the mess makers first.
I think we've aired it quite a lot anyway. I don't think we can come up with
to the environment.
I don't think we've got a solution.
They can't do that.
There's a control.
Right.
Well, it's said, obviously, if it came more.
Yeah, we'll move on. I think move on, I think. To discuss to the parish partnership scheme.
We only put the cemetery surface in there just as an example, but we wouldn't be. What I wanted to do is put in 2 parish partnership bids, one for a vehicle activated safety sign at it's Hartwood School, which hopefully would be match funded by London's, and also for the camping land. You know, we wanted to replace the wooden fence there. That's becoming a real problem. So I wanted to, if you would agree, for us to put the parish partnership applications in for those 2 applications. I've got letters of support from the schools and from Breckland officers as well.
You can put it, sorry, Cal.
Go ahead.
You can put it in, but you got to remember the budgets.
Exactly, and actually,
you know,
still put it in, and you don't have to
correct.
do it.
Get it sorted, then we put in the budget for next year.
Exactly, and then I can.
As long as you.
But then if I could match fund for William, then I think we would have enough.
You see my point?
Yes,
I was just worried in case you thought we were going to vote on it tonight and do it next.
I just want you to vote that I can put in the 2 applications.
Yeah.
Is that the amount you're allowed? Just 2 applications?
And I can put as many as I want.
Well, there's another small one. bearing in mind the amount of new properties that got to be built in New Sport Road eventually, a lot of people were using the half-acre lane to get through to the supermarkets. And for many years, we've been talking about having at least some lighting in that path. And I think we probably could do that with some bandits with solar panels on top, so they don't have to be wired into the grid. So that's something else I would like to see looked at.
Okay, yeah.
But sorry, but add to that, the Shoemaker at half acre, if you go down there in the winter, that is knee deep in mud. Because all the mud, the banks are up like that on each side, and the mud runs down, and it's like a mud one in there. And it's not only the lighting, it's the tread, if you like, it needs looking at as well.
We spoke to the highway engineer in the summer about this and having a gate, and he won't have a gate, and he said there's nothing they can do about the surface because of the levels. So, but I don't know about lighting.
Who's talking about down property from? No, it's like no half acre we're talking about from New Sport Road to Castle Road. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay on that, Helen?
Yep.
Yeah, everybody happy with them? Yeah. Do we need to vote on that?
Yes, please, if you
Yeah.
just agree with.
All agree? Yeah, you know.
Works in there.
Review and adopt town council policies. Do you want to run through them with us? Or is it straightforward?
I think you've had them on there and there's no changes on them, is it, Nicola? No changes on any of them. They're just the annual ones that just need reviewing, which we've reviewed, and there's no changes.
Everybody happy? Right.
I thought the fly grazing was a new one. But
No.
No, fly grazing.
what's the big yellow thing you put?
Information security, that's a new policy. Sorry, that's a new policy.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's
Need to be
it's
reported.
that.
Between the policies.
Fly grazing one. Does it cover, is it just horses or is it any grazing animal?
That one's just.
Because I did mention it
Just
down in
horses.
the office and they said it's just horses, but
It's like horses.
so if you move a couple of cows on there or sheep or what have you, it doesn't cover that. But surely it should cover all grazing animals.
I thought so.
If they're illegally grazing, then
But aren't they because they're farm animals and they're not, the horses aren't, that's why it's called fly grazing, I think.
it's a
I think
debate
it goes
one
back
because
a few-
horses
Yeah.
are.
It goes back a few years, doesn't it? This when we had some gypsies that come through the town and they were grazing our horses
That's why.
on our land illegally.
Right.
And that is when it stems from. So if you want to add other animals, I suppose you could do.
I don't see the point of not including, making it exclusive horses when it should be all grazing animals. If it's a fly grazing policy, then it should cover all animals.
Well, shall we ask Clark to rewrite that and bring it back at the next meeting?
Yeah.
If you're happy, John.
Just a bit of caution. It does go into a lot of detail about what happens to the animals if they have to be removed. Now, that's specific to horses.
Exactly, that is.
And if you get into a thing about all other animals, there might be other things that you've got to keep and bear in mind and the cost to that, because this fly graze, when you have to remove the animals, it's a big cost on the council.
Yeah, fly
you
grazing
never
is
get the money
normally
back.
horses, that's a standard policy that
Yeah.
councils
It's-
have. But, so you might need two policies.
Yeah. Shall we leave that with the clerk to bring back to the next time?
Yeah.
I think that's best because we're not sure on that. So information security policy. I think that's fairly straightforward, isn't it? Everybody happy with that one?
Yes.
Yeah. And the other one, GDPR or GDPR, data protection policy.
Is that the new one?
Well, it's a government-led thing, isn't it? Yeah, everybody happy with that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one had come back later date. So there we go on to finance, to receive receipts for October. Yeah. Anything to say on that? No, everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're not happy.
If it's spending our money, yeah, it's fine. It has to be done. I do.
Just to let you know, I'm probably going to get the section 38 money from Cerise Rise because it's just section 38, it's not section 106. We can use that, although it's for your street lighting, it can be used for, it's not earmarked as the section 106. And that should come in by the end of the week, which is about 124,000.
So we can have the holiday now then.
Anybody got John?
I missed, where is that in respect of the section 38?
Cerise Rise.
Ceres.
Sorry.
Ceres,
How-
yeah.
sorry.
So we get the money from, well, the money would, section 38 would
No,
usually go to the county council.
No, this is from the developer. It's organised with the county. We take on the streetlights. Yeah. But it will be
So,
paid
David.
directly from the developer.
So
Yeah, I just thought, well, there's several entries on hospitality. I'm assuming that's something to do with the switch on or what have you.
Halloween.
Cash and carry bill and something else.
Yeah, it's all the Christmas events. Hospitality is, yeah.
Why put it under hospitality? We're not giving the stuff away, are we?
Oh, I don't think
Surely
we should do
we
events.
should have a heading that says events or
receipt?
Christmas, or give us a clue to exactly.
We're still on receipts at the minute.
Ah.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Right, payments.
You jumped onto the next line.
Keep with the receipts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we'll go on to payments now then.
I didn't want to miss it. But what was it?
No, it's under events. That's
Says hospitality.
It did say hospitality on the,
It says hospitality.
yeah, I've seen what it's for. I can
that's Halloween, a lot of that stuff was the kids.
Yeah, so that should be, I think it's hospitality, but it comes under events. It just means
Yeah, it's under the wrong
Stationery,
heading, that's all.
it's under milk, coffee, squash, that sort of thing. Yeah.
200 quid for milk. That's a tears.
No, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just meant it's under the wrong heading. That was all.
No, it comes under the events. It was under the events.
But it says hospitality is the
Yeah,
main.
that's the description of it because we can't put down everything. We use hospitality is like your decorations, your squash, your water, your coffee and things in here.
Yeah.
The other thing is, what would you call it instead?
It's just.
I just call it events. It's,
Yeah, it does. That's the cost center is your event and then your cost ID, cost code would be event.
the cost said
It's the
to be the top. All I
description,
see was
your
hospitality,
hospitality,
hospitality. And I thought that town clerk's having the right party here again.
Happy on that one. Les.
Yeah.
Payments we're on.
520 IT monthly, 2nd of the 10th. £620.96. And it says software. And I wondered that's
That's your Teams, your councillor emails, your
that-
Wi-Fi, printer.
and then those, but it's not for it. There isn't that's all for software, so all for the license to use
Yeah.
it and the backup.
Yeah.
Okay, Les?
Yeah.
David?
Going back to that money for the lighting, shouldn't we ring-fence the money? Because obviously the cost to
You
replace.
don't
the
need
lighting
to
now
with section 38. You can ring fence it, but you don't have to.
Wouldn't be prudent because eventually the lighting's gonna need replacing and then we've got to scratch to get the money, get that down the road.
Yeah, but that is a 10-year deal, isn't it?
25 years. You have,
25 years, so that
yeah.
money's got to last. to
Section
keep-
38 is different to section 106.
To keep those lights for 25 years.
So
That's
spend it.
responsibility.
No,
You
because
spend it
your
tomorrow.
council tax, your higher council tax ban is supposed to cover the cost of your street lighting and new street lighting. That's in our street lighting policy.
You've got it twice then.
Yeah, basically, that's how you do it.
You do.
Yeah. That's why you don't need to earmark that, like your 106, you earmark for your open spaces and your play areas.
Happy days.
Yeah. I'll send you the legislation on both of them, then you can see what it means.
Any other questions, Les?
Yeah. And then on 6:30, we've actually got a payment for street lighting maintenance.
Yeah,
of
that-
12,000.
That goes out,
So-
that's our maintenance that we have to pay, that we pay Breckland to
Yeah.
look after. I actually just questioned that and said maybe next year we need to go out for a tender to see if we need a new
Yeah.
street lighting contractor
Yeah.
to do our maintenance.
Oh, dear.
We don't have to go with Brexit on
No.
that, do we? We can divert.
We need to go through and do a whole new inventory of our streetlights because
Yeah.
we've got new ones that we've adopted.
David.
Talking of streetlights and maintenance, can we get Brecklands to get their people to actually paint the ones that need painting? They're rotten.
Did you paint the street light?
Paint's flaking off it,
Not wrong, you mean the paint.
as in they've got flaky paint all over
Well,
and they've been maintained for years. If we're talking about maintaining the street, let's not doing the job.
We're paying for that.
Well, yeah, we're paying for maintenance, it's not being done.
So no, if you
Some
get
are
the
owned
numbers off them, we can post.
Yeah, because some are owned by Norfolk County Council, some are Breckland, some are ours, some are Breckland.
There's a whole host of things though.
Yeah, if we get the streetlight numbers, but
We're getting the money.
Yeah,
for
if you do that,
maintenance,
David,
they're not doing it.
Get the numbers off the post and then we get the, see if they're ours or whether they're highways or whatever.
They can look nice.
Find enough.
Anything else on payments? Can I have somebody propose acceptance of the payments?
We did them.
Let's do it in Graham's second, yeah. All those favour?
Can we all take the colour?
Well, we've got to do it. We've got to do it properly.
No, but even though I did it, we did the payments, we can't propose exception because we did them.
Well,
I told you.
you know what we need.
I told you about put that extra payment in there.
Why don't you go to Spain on Saturday?
To approve the bank consultation up to the date of the agenda today. So are we all happy with that?
Yeah,
Do
I
it.
propose it.
Yeah, everybody happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite important, these little bits, we have an internal auditor. We get
We're
some.
nearly at the end. Just to agree the date of the next meeting, which will be the 11th of December.
Can I just, there's a thing on there about cemetery paving in the papers.
Yeah.
Did we take that? Was I asleep?
that was just for the parish partnership, we've taken that one out of the
Oh,
cemetery, yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
just indulge me in a question I missed on to the clerk. And that was just an update on, we agreed to form a charity for the barn.
Yeah,
Do you know where we're up to with that?
yeah, we've got to start again, I think.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm looking into it. I've,
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
got
We've leased it to a charity. We're all right for a year.
no, I am gonna not, I'm
Yeah.
gonna carry on with that, yeah.
Just in case.
Right.
I think that's about it. Right, thank you all very much for attending and we'll see you all in a month's time. Thank you.
I like when he does that.
Yeah, I should.